Welcome to PhotoshopUser TV, brought to you by the National Association of Photoshop Professionals. And now, here are your hosts, the Photoshop guys.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of PhotoshopUser TV, a free show for you to learn all about Photoshop, and it's brought to you by PhotoshopUser magazine. The fine features at NAP, the National Association of Photoshop Professionals.
Official publication right there.
I am Pete Collins, one of the Photoshop guys, and I'm here with Corey Barker.
Hi, good to have you back. It's been a very long time, hasn't it?
Yes, it was a rough 5 minutes between shows.
Yep.
Hopefully you're watching us live and you can see us from one show to the other. We usually do 2 shows in a row, and if you don't see us live, you can see them spaced out, one each week, over on
KelbyTV.com/PhotoshopUser TV. What's up, everybody?
That's right. Great steal and segue over to you, Mr.
Right?
R.C. Concepcion.
Right. Well, you know what? And that's one of those things where it's like the people that are watching are usually the super dedicated, right? Anybody who's like on social media, Google Plus, or or watching on KelbyTV.com/on-air.
They're more than likely watching them in the office right now.
Right. They're watching. They're not doing work right now on a Monday. But we're very excited that you guys are here. So it's something that we don't really announce it. We just we figured we're going to be taping them live anyway. If you guys want to watch, you can watch. Right? Sometimes you guys see a whole bunch of different things that you're not supposed to see.
You're basically
like chances are that part will get edited out. Or
watching the dress
right?
rehearsal is pretty much what that.
Right.
And if you're taking part live, you can join us in the chat rooms. Where's the chat rooms, RC, Mr. Social Media?
You can go to KelbyTV.com/on-air. There's a chat page right here on the right hand side. Right here in this one section. I'm going to keep circling it until the computer gets there. And then right there, you click right here, open live chat in the window, or you can do it from here. And we've got tons of people, and we really appreciate it. Like I said during the break, I was like, man, I could kill for some Starbucks. And somebody said, and Tim D said, seems like you guys should have minions for that stuff. And I'm like,
we are the minions.
Guys, we are the minions. I'm like, people are like, well, what's it like? And I'm like, dude, this is my coffee because I bought a really expensive coffee machine. And if I decided that I wanted to go to Starbucks, my wife would kill me. So I'm drinking that for the next 6 years.
Didn't you steal one from the other building last week, though?
Yes, we did. We did steal one from the other building.
We're hijacking coffee machines in our office. That's the extent of our entertainment.
Yeah. But that's one of those things. It's like we do our own stuff. We don't have assistants and lifts and people running around grabbing our stuff. We grab our own stuff. So.
Well,
I like how you tried not to.
If you think about it, we ourselves are not getting any work done right now because we're here doing the show. So we're just as guilty.
That's right.
That's right. So anyway, but we're going to kick things off with what?
You know what? I wanted to show a couple of things. Here, let me show you what I mean. Inside of here, I have a picture that I took of a meetup group, right? And I've been spending an ungodly amount of time doing HDR, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, am I tired of doing HDR? I like it.
Finally?
Well, you know what it is? I like it. I think it's cool. It's all right. But I like shooting a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like, I'm like, oh, another HDR, okay. But this was one of those pictures where I wanted to make a portrait of stuff, and I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I use inside of HDR, but that are also very appropriate when you're working in photographic things. And I wanted to share with you a really cool trick that Scott Kelby taught me. Here's the picture, right? This is the problem that happens with this picture. When people were taking, when you were taking a picture of this girl, they were trying to take a picture of her with the door shut. And I'm like, guys, what about this shot shows old if you have the door shut and you just see her face? You can't see the steering column. You can't see anything else. All of the old stuff is right here, in here, right? So if you can't see that, then what difference does it make, right? Now, this is very distracting. This is very distracting. On the underexposed frame, that doesn't seem as distracted. On the overexposed frame, you can see a lot of that detail, but this is distracting because it's all blown out. So this is something that obviously you can use HDR for, but there's times where you're going to want to do this and you're going to want to align and organize this stuff by just masking stuff out. So in here, I'm going to grab this overexposed layer and I'm going to use my move tool. I'm going to press and hold and drag it over to this one, you'll see that it flips automatically to that middle exposure. If I hold down the Shift key, it's going to automatically align it to the center. That may or may not align. And usually what I'll do is I'll zoom into the person, and now watch. You see how it looks like she's bopping her head? If she's bopping her head, chances are they don't align.
She's listening to a hip tune?
And she's listening to a hip tune. So what I would do is I would unlock the background layer, and I do this all the time. Grab one of the original layers, bring it back in. Right? So if you're doing an HDR, you would grab one of the layers that you're working with, bring it back in. If you're trying to take two images, bring them back in. And having both of them selected, I'm going to single click here, I'm going to shift click the second one, and under the edit menu, there's a section called Auto Align Layers. You click on Auto Align Layers, click OK. That's going to take those two layers, or the details between the two layers, and it automatically aligns them. Now you'll see no bopping of head. No bopping of head, you know that she's aligned a lot better. So now I can grab this upper exposed layer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to single click right here on this mask icon that's all the way at the bottom. But instead of doing this, I'm going to hold on the Option key. Now, what the Option key does when you click on this is it takes this, I'm going to go ahead and bring this over here so you can see. So there's the Add Layer Mask. Holding on the Option key, while you click on that, eliminates a step. If you were to click on it by itself, it fills the entire thing, but you know you're going to have to invert it. So by holding down the Option key, it says, give me the opposite of that white, which is black, and it hides everything. So it's all about the time saving that we have there. Now I'll come back into this part of the steering column, and I can grab all of this and bring out all of this detail. Now, if I see light here, I'm also going to see light in this area. How am I doing this? I'm holding down the Control key and the Option key, and then on the Wacom pen, I'm just dragging to the left and to the right. Big, small, big, small, big, small. And then up, down gives me hardness and softness. So I'll make it soft, I'll make it small, and inside of here, I'll just kind of trace around the steering column. And then bring this into this one section here, let's see, right at the very, very edge, right? Because obviously I don't want to call attention to that part. I just want to come over here and call attention to the watch. And now if you'll take a look, before, after, right? I wouldn't call attention to the car in here, so I'm just going to keep switching. I'm hitting the letter D to switch me to the foreground and background color of white and black, and then I use X to switch back and forth between foreground and background. By clicking on the X, we hide, and we're good to go. Now, here's my underexposed layer. If I drag that layer and I bring that back in here, now watch. Before, after. I can do the exact same thing. Alt-click to hold that mask, and then right here, make this a little bit darker. Once I have that all set, we'll see here, we'll revert back just to show you. Not a lot of detail in this area, but see, lose detail, this is blown out, this is blown out. That looks a little bit more balanced. And now for the Scott Kelby trick. This I thought was neat. And the gradient, right now you have, normally whenever you look at your gradients look like this. But if you click right here on this flyout, they have one here called photographic toning. They actually hired somebody to bring these gradients into this. I switched to that because more often than not, I'm using these gradients. So you click on one of these, click OK, and then switch to soft light. Now you can always go back and you can go, all right, well, I like that effect, I like that effect. So it's almost kind of like a nice film effect.
Instagram.
No time flat, you can take that one image, bring in a couple of different things. Now it's not necessarily HDR, but you can make something really, really nice. With very simple techniques. The key with all of it is simple techniques, learning 3-4 techniques and just having those techniques under your belt.
Yep, that's great. We both were amazed when Scott showed us that whole hidden thing with the gradients. It's a great way to go in there and really process some images, get Instagram look, other things, and it's right there in
It's amazing
Photoshop.
what a simple gradient can do to an overall image. I use them all the time, in my composites and stuff like that. So.
Well, hey, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more tutorials and tips from Corey and myself. Hang on just a few minutes, and we'll be right back.
Have you been looking to take your photography to the next level? Learn from some of the world's top pro photographers and instructors? At kelbytraining.com, that experience is only a few clicks away.
Hey Jason, I'm glad you joined me today on Kelby Training. We're going to be getting some great motocross action. Guys are going to be flying over my head. Jason, we're going to be using high-speed sync and speed lights to get some great action.
Whether on location or in studio, our instructors teach you some of the most sought-after techniques, giving you a first-hand look at their work step by step. It's unlimited one-on-one training, giving you 24-hour-a-day access to hundreds of exclusive classes.
Jason, we had a great class today. I hope you learned a lot with our speed lights and high-speed sync action. Remember, kelbytraining.com. It's a one-stop shopping for great learning, great photography classes. We'll see you next time.
Experience a class on kelbytraining.com. Subscribe today. Visit kelbytraining.com for more information.
Well, there we go, guys. We're back from break, and if you haven't checked out kelbytraining.com, you really need to. That was just a little promo of one of the classes over there. Mm-hmm. It is such a great resource. I sit there and I will go in and I will watch those classes. Especially, what I tend to do is if there's something I've never experimented with before, photography style or whatever, I'll go watch that. But then let's say I have to go do an assignment or something. It's a great resource to go back and go, hey, let me watch that video again. What did he do there that I can bring into this job and have a little more diversity to it?
It's even good to go in, like you say, go in there and watch stuff you haven't normally done. You might catch something. You may not want to pick up that particular style, but there's maybe something in there you can use with your own style. I mean, there's little nuggets of information all in those classes, and it's way more valuable. And to have it on call like that is just...
Well, and RC talks about, in a post, he talked about how we need to diversify. You think about how much time you spend watching TV. If you took 1 hour each day instead of watching TV to watch a class, all the amount of education you would get just from kelbytraining.com. We got some of the best teachers, the best training. It's an awesome place to be, so go check it out.
If you're traveling, you take instead of watching a movie on your tablet, download some classes.
Driving.
Yep.
Driving.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, that would interfere with your texting, RC, so you never know.
Yeah, you need to decide. Are you going to text while you drive, or are you going to watch your videos?
I actually just stay with Netflix. I'm pretty good.
All right, so, hey, Corey, you've got the feature tutorial. Tutorial. Yeah, we're going to teach you how to...
Tutorial. Yeah. It's Total. Now, got a cool little kind of graphic photo trick here. And I'm going to use my jazz guy. Jazz hands. This is kind of cool because I like the shot. For one, it's against a solid background, so it's easy to extract. But I like the lighting and everything like that. We've got something really cool happening here. So we're going to do some channel tricks to get kind of a cool effect here. But actually going to go in here and open up my channels palette. And just toggling through, I'm looking for one that has a fair amount of detail. That's not too blown out or too dark. So actually the red doesn't look too bad, and the blue is a little bit darker than I'd like. So the green is probably going to be right there in the middle, and that looks, because it literally is in the middle. But it actually is looking like the way I want it to. So I'm actually going to go and make a copy of that channel just by dragging it to the alpha channel icon here at the bottom. So it says green copy. Do not work directly on the actual channel. It will change the overall image. And you don't want to do that. So with the green copy selected, and now I'm just going to scale it a little bit because I want him to kind of break the plane here. I want him to actually, the hat to actually go off camera, or go out of view here rather. And I'm going to scale this up a little bit down here. So just the bottom of his instrument is right at the bottom of the image here. There we go. Okay. So now I want to bring this, right now it's an alpha channel. So I'm editing a channel. It's only black and white, but I want to bring it into a layer and edit it further. So before I do that, let's do a little bit more processing here. I'm actually going to select this entire side of the object. And on this right side of my subject here, it's mostly dark, and it contrasts really well to the background. So I'm just going to click in that background area with the magic wand tool. It selects it all, and we'll just do a black color fill. Then I'm going to do a levels adjustment. It's going to press Command or Control L and grab the white eyedropper here and just go over here into the other side of the background and just click once. And you can see it forces that side to white. So basically we got one side forces to black, one side is white. And I'm just going to use this midtone slider to kind of darken the contrast of my subject here a little bit more. Actually bring that darker there. There we go. So click OK, and there we're looking pretty good. Now, this area between his legs here, this little space here, I don't want to have that. So I'm just going to use my lasso tool and draw around this overall area. And then just do a simple gradient. And we'll just make sure our foreground color is black. I'm just going to do it right up here. So I want to have a subtle hint of that leg, but I just wanted to get rid of that little space in there and everything like that. So now we're looking pretty good. So now I'm ready to go and bring this as a layer. Right now it's still an alpha channel, as I said. So to do that, I'm just going to do Command A to select the entire image and then do a Command or Control C, which will copy it to the clipboard. And then we'll go back to the Layers panel here. And I'm just going to create a new blank layer. I'm just going to give it a color fill. Let's just go ahead and do something like kind of a dark blue color here. There we go. So fill in the entire layer with that. Now I'm going to press Command or Control V, which will paste whatever image was on the clipboard, which we have here. And you'll notice it's on top of that colored layer. Now all I have to do is change the blend mode to make it visible. I'm going to change. So I want the white area to be visible and the dark to be that, or the black areas to be that blue color in the background. So what do? Change it from normal to screen. And you can see it picks up that background. Now I'm getting this two-tone effect with my guy splitting it down. It's almost like got a graphic effect to it.
Very nice.
So, and you can try different things, like you can invert it and see what it gives you there if you wanted to do some kind of inverted mode here. But it doesn't have to be a solid background. I actually tried it with a texture and ended up looking really, really cool. For instance, here I've got this image of this textured background with all these musical notes. So this graphic element would actually look really good if I just came over here and did this. And this time, instead of screen, I'm going to change the blend mode to multiply. Basically inverts it around. And now I just need to scale this guy down a little bit here and just nudge him over. And now you can see I've got this guy who kind of helps the background fade to black, but it's got that nice contrast going on there in between them. So it can go against a solid color as an overall poster design or just a subtle design element here. But when you've got these high contrast subjects against these backgrounds like this, you can get pretty creative with it, editing as a black and white alpha channel and then bringing it into your image to make a pretty interesting graphic effect. Isn't that cool?
It is a great designer technique to be able to use to blend in all kinds of stuff, and that's well done.
I like it. And again, if I just point out one more thing, it is on its own layer. Remember, it's a black and white image on its own layer. So if I even wanted to do something as simple as boost the contrast, just run a levels adjustment, and you can see that change taking place, and it gets more and more tighter, giving more of a graphic look to it. So you have options, not just with the layer itself, but with the coloring and how you blend it and everything like that. So it's a lot of really cool things you can do with that. So I like it. I use that a lot.
When you first started that, when you were doing the black and white thing, you know what it reminded me of was Scarface.
Scarface. That's exactly what I thought.
There you go.
I was like, he's going Scarface on us.
That's true. You can use this very technique to create that Scarface.
All
Did not
right,
occur to me.
Corey, make us a Scarface tutorial. Have it for the next show.
Will do. I'm on it.
Change that trombone to a
To
a machete.
The musician is sad. He's machete.
Do you have that picture there handy?
I can. Here, give me a second.
You should at least show that.
Surprisingly enough, we are going to digress for a moment.
Actually, but you have a tip, though, right? Don't you?
I do have a tip. Well, while Corey's finding this picture that's going to be about RC's mom, I'm just going to show you a quick tip on using the spot healing brush. Now, the spot healing brush is really an amazing tool, but oftentimes it kind of gets misunderstood. The whole thing with the spot healing brush, it works great when you've got little things. Let's say you've got just some little dot somewhere that you want to get rid of. Like, say, right here at the end of this tail right here, if I don't like that bright spot here, I can just come in and hit that, and it'll clean it up fairly well. Well, the thing is, if you've got to do a larger area, or you need to, let's say I wanted to, this was a stock image I got, and I showed this tutorial to some degree on the NAP website, but if I want to get rid of these highlights here, because it looks like this is a fish out of water and it's got some hot spots on it, This is a little more intricate retouching because of all the patterns and stuff. What I first do whenever I've got to retouch anything is I go immediately to my spot healing brush tool and see how much work I can let the computer do that I don't have to do. Well, if you're like most people, you take a tool like this and you come and you go, okay, well, I'm just going to paint all this out and see how it does. And it's going to think. And of course, whenever you do a tutorial, it does a better job than you want it to do the first go around, because my tutorial here, my tip for you is oftentimes your first go around with this tool may not give you the desired effect you want, but it's sort of like the randomness each time you do it, and the computer tries to figure out the algorithms better. If you will go back in with your spot healing brush tool a couple times, you just undo it and try it again and again, usually about the second or third time, you're going to get results that look a lot better than maybe the first time. I know a lot of people try it once, it doesn't work out, and they just abandon it and try something else. Whereas if you can come in quickly and just hit it with the spot healing brush, and if it goes goobery on you, just undo it and try it again, you can really get a lot done with that spot healing brush before you ever have to go in and use the healing brush tool, the clone stamp tool. The spot healing brush can really get you a long way quickly, but you just got to realize it's got a little personality to it. So you got to go in there and maybe try it a couple times.
Nice.
Goobery?
Goobery. That's a word.
All right, so let me
Goobery
just
is a word. All
let's just complete the deviation. I'll just show these and then you can show yours.
So let me set this up for you. Is RC's mom is a great lady. And if you've seen RC's portfolio and stuff, he's got a wonderful picture of her the first time she used a computer. It's just beautiful.
It's a great shot, yeah.
It just kind of ties in the older generation facing technology, and it's beautiful.
Here, I'll have that if you guys want to see the shot. Thank you.
And it's just such a touching image.
Thank you very
and
much.
that's where a lot of people know RC's mom. That's the representation. If we go over to RC's computer, this is the picture. The first time she ever looked at a computer.
And see, and that's the thing. It's like the thing with my mom is I like spending a lot of time doing cool things with my mom and giving my mom a lot of cool stories and cool experiences. And that's kind of where it came from. Like, she really is like, she's this like old Mexican lady. She just
Can
is
cook up a
totally
storm,
true. She
by
can
the way.
cook up a storm. So, Cristela, we love you. Hi, Mom. So anyway, so we took these pictures, but then at the same time, we met my friend Jay Abramson and Susan, who are teaching me how to use firearms. So I'm going to ranges and I'm practicing and all that stuff, and Jay's got like this arsenal. So my mom was coming, and I was just like, wouldn't it be cool to turn around and actually marry all of the firearms stuff? Because my mom's like, yeah, I don't know. But then she really got into it. I'm like, Mom, stand over there in the living room, and I'm going to take a whole bunch of pictures of you in a white background.
Okay, wait, before you show it. So right now, you're about to change your view of RC's mom completely, because you've kind of got this sweet, soft version of Mom.
Now you're about to see Tony
Now
Montana's
you're
mom.
about to see what happens in the office.
Until
this is what happens.
Until you see this.
Here's RC's mom. Take it
Wow.
away.
So then she's sitting, she's hanging out with her AR-15, and we're like, Mom, hold this. She has no idea as to how to do any of this stuff.
She's about 4'7", too,
Yeah.
isn't she?
And then here she's holding this
Look
old.
at that look of death.
That look
It's just
is
like,
awesome.
I'm going to kill you.
That's her. She's like,
That's
I
her
won't
killing a
kill-"
child. I'm going to kill you.
Like, see, she has no idea of what she's doing. But we're coaching her, and we're like, no,
She's
hold
having
them
too
like
much
this.
fun with the guns, though, here.
She's like this. But then and then I'm like, no, you're gonna shoot the wall. Obviously, all of these things
not
are
a John Woo
empty.
film.
And then, but I was looking for like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like wait a minute, there it is. So there's money right there. So anyway, so that was the last shot. And then once we finished, she's laughing up a storm. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing, mijo. She's like smacking me all over the place. And I'm like, all right, Mom, don't worry. Corey's on the case. So
So the next day, of course, he comes in the office and he's thumbing through his phone on these pictures, and he comes to that one. I'm like, dude, send me that. I have an idea. So without hesitation, he sends it to me, and after playing, it wasn't an hour, a couple hours later.
Well, you just hear giggling over in Corey's office, and you know he's up to no good.
So I was having too much fun, and ultimately I took that image and got this.
So that's the Mother of
Mother
Mother of
of
Machete.
Machete. I went way Hollywood on it. I think the blood splatter in the background really kind of...
I know. It just ties it all in, really.
It ties it all together in here.
So
and so Corey will be doing a tutorial on the Mother of Machete coming soon.
I think that might be next episode. Yeah.
That's kind of what we do. Dear God, we need a break, don't we?
And with that, we do need a break. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to give away some prizes, and hopefully we'll see you then.
Mother.
I really believe that your photography is a reflection of who you are. In my posing class, you're going to learn a lot of things. How to pose a bride and bring out the best in her shape and her curves. How to photograph a groom, because many of us who may focus on the bride will ignore the groom. And getting your clients to mirror you. Mirroring, I find, is the best way of getting people to pose. I'm Jerry Gionis. Check out my class on the fine art of posing at kelbytraining.com.
Yeah? You gonna keep talking
right,
about my mom?
We're back, and we've got a couple people online chatting with us as we're going along, and Ken Z made the comment. He says, I can't wait to see how the editors take this portion and what they do with it. Ken, you and me both. This episode may be 5 minutes long by the time they get through. But anyway, we're back. Make sure you go check out KelbyTraining.com. We just saw that promo for Jerry Gionis. If you are a wedding photographer, want to be a wedding photographer, assistant for a wedding photographer, or just amazed at how...
Or just be entertained, because he's hysterical.
If you can see how he poses people, gets people set up, and he's just so good at working people into a scene and posing them, it's a phenomenal class. That's on KelbyTraining.com. Make sure you check it out. Now, it's the best part. This is what everybody's been waiting for.
Before we get to press, somebody commented asking about the rain effect on the most recent Dark Knight Rises posters. I am tackling that effect, and we'll have something on that very soon. So if it's not here, it will be on the NAT member site. So stay tuned. I am working on it. But prizes, yes.
We got some prizes?
We do.
What prizes do we have today, Corey?
Today we have the Photoshop Lightroom from Snapshots, 2 great shot series by, again, Jeff Ravel. Our good friend Jeff. He's busy writing. He doesn't play Call of Duty anymore.
I know.
So again, last week we gave away his Elements book. Now we have his Lightroom book. Is this all he does?
I'm kind of torn because I love his books. I love what he does, but I think if y'all keep buying his books like you are, he's not going to be able to play as much Call of Duty because he's going to be writing more books. I'm torn.
He's getting too productive. We have to stop this.
Yes.
Now, other book we have here is Picture Perfect Practice by, help me with the name here,
Roberto Valenzuela.
Valenzuela.
Boy, that's a nice. I want that.
That is a nice cover. I really like that cover. Let's see that cover. Very, very nice. And it's a self-training guide to mastering the challenges of taking world-class photographs. Check it out. So you get that and the Lightroom. What was it called again? Photoshop Lightroom.
Well, RC.
Yes, sir.
Where would they go to make comments to be able to be eligible for these prizes?
Because that's one of the things. We're showing you guys this on Kelby Training Live. So it's going to be kelbytv.com/on-air. You're watching on Google+. You're watching on YouTube. However, the producers can only pick from one spot. The place for you to do this is to go to kelbytv.com/PhotoshopUser. So that's where we're going to get all of the comments from. You want to find the episode that this is in. So we'll get you the episode number. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in there. You're going to go ahead and scroll all the way down to the comments.
310.
310?
Yes.
All right, so episode 310. Find episode 310. Then inside of there, leave a comment. That's where the producer goes to find it. Because if not, she'd blow her head off with all of the different places for you to go and try to find comments. So one spot, one solution. Make sure that you enter in your name, email, and leave us a comment, positive, negative. Tell us what you want to see in the show. And somebody will pick it, and you will win the prizes.
Win the books.
That's great. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all being here.
We love it.
We had a good show.
Amen.
We have to get back to work now.
Yep.
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
any last words?
Well, no. Just, I love you all.
Be excellent to one another.
Be excellent to one another.
Wow,
Party on.
That's touching. Wow. RC?
Nothing. Hey,
I
thanks, guys.
will say, everybody definitely. Sorry.
No, you lost your chance.
No, I just want to say, everybody have a happy 4th of July. It is a couple of days away, so do enjoy the barbecue and fireworks if you have that.
Nice. I hope
that happened last week.
I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July.
I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July last. See, it's still not here yet. We're filming this 3 months in advance.
We're not going to let you talk anymore, Corey.
I'm done.
RC,
Bye.
How are you doing?
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you tell your friends. Make sure that you tell your friends' friends to watch live, and make sure to tune in on kelbytv.com/on-air.
Guys, we thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next show.
When will that be?
That will be
Next week.
next week. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Bye.